Hey guys, yep, new toy, new edger, but I'm so impressed with this edger, I'm going to give away one of them next month. So hold on, I'll tell you how we're going to do it. Hey guys, so I've got just about every edging tool in the book. I've got a weed eater, I've got a stick edger, I've got a power edger, and last month I was talking to the distributor over there at Maclean, and I decided to go ahead and get one of their, they were the same people that I got my True Cut through. I decided to get one of their power edgers, a McLane power edger, and sort of show it to you guys and do a review on it. And I was so impressed with it that I went ahead and I said, let's just give one of these away, so we're going to give away one next month. Now, in case you don't know, in the description below, there's going to be a link to a page. That page takes you to our website. And on that website, you're going to see links to all the products that I recommend. Where do you get that? All those products will be on that page. And then you can also go over there if you want to sign up for the giveaways we do. You just make sure you're a YouTube subscriber. That's number one. You only have to do two things. And then sign up for the email alerts. And what the email alerts do is just anytime I put up a new video post, it'll just send you an email and say, hey, that idiot put up this subject video post, and so it'll send you email and alert. But we use that system because we use a random number generator to pick our winners, so we have to have a way to sort of have a list of those numerically, and that's how we use it. So let's talk about this edger. If you want to start a good bar fight, start talking about edging. Most people use a weed eater, but if you have Bermuda grass and you try to use a weed eater, man, I'll tell you what, it's probably one of the most tiring and frustrating things you can do, especially if you have a lot. Now, if you don't understand, I have my lawn, I take care of Barb's lawn, I do the world's worst over here, and I went ahead and measured it the other day. I have 1,836 linear feet of edging to do. Let me say it again, 1,836 linear feet of edging to do. The other issue I've got, from being a gym rat for most of my life, powerlifting and everything else that I used to do when I was younger, I've got pinched nerve issues and I've got shoulder issues, so I can't walk around like this for very long. I mean, my shoulder just starts to throb and I get pinched nerve issues. So that's why I switched over to the power edger. It's not for everybody. Most people can just use a gas stick edger, and you just roll along and it's no problem. And I'll put a link to probably one of the more popular ones. There'll be a link on the webpage for the good gas stick edger if you want to gas. But if you have a lot of edging to do, if you're tired of walking around like this thing is a true one-pass edger. And what do I mean by that? You never have to back up and do it again. A one-pass edger will take the thickest, toughest edging job that you have, and you just roll along, and on one pass it's absolutely perfect every single time. And that's a big plus for me. Plus, it's real easy. I just sit along, and really with one hand you just roll along and just do all this stuff. Now, the one issue that's going to come up on this, the only weak point I think on these edgers, is if you're going to go around, if you have a bunch of curves. So if you have a bunch of curves that you have to work with, what ends up happening is you got to kind of lean this thing on one of its back wheels and sort of work it around the edge or the curve. And instead of having a real fine line edging, it'll sort of broaden out a little bit. So you can get it around a curve. It just takes a little work and effort. But if you have a ton of curves, you might want to stick with a stick edger. It's just a little bit easier. So anyways, this is the one I'm going to talk to you about today is McLane. It comes in two models. It comes with a Briggs & Stratton, and it comes with a Honda. Now let me explain. Last year, which I still have, but I'm going to give away to my son-in-law, I have a I forget the brand name of it, but it's a China made, it's a less expensive version of this, and it has a curb hopper, and it's a decent unit for the money. Now let me explain that again. Value versus quality. Value versus quality. The one I did last year, I think it retails for about 270 bucks. It's almost all made in China. The engine's made in China, the unit's made in China, but it's a decent product, and I haven't had any issues with it. So your gas stick edgers usually run $200 to $300. That unit runs about $270. This McLane unit with a Briggs on it runs about $5 something, somewhere in there. I went ahead and I got the Honda, and I'm going to give away a Honda. That one gets closer, touching it in the high sevens, around $800. So it's not a cheap unit at all. But that's one of those units that you buy one time and you keep it for 30, 40 years. That's how good it is. Hey guys, so this is the McLane Power Edger. I'm going to go over a couple things on it real quick. It's pretty simple. The unit comes with a handle off of it. It takes about 25 minutes to put the handle on and assemble it. It does not come with engine oil. I'm going to let you know that, so you need to have engine oil. That's about it, and then it's ready to go. So this one does have a throttle control on it. Where a lot of these units don't have a throttle control, this one does have a throttle control. This one has an adjustment here, and I've found that what you do is you keep your hand on the left side, come over with your right hand, and you sort of crisscross and push, and you go up and down with it. If you try and do it with this hand, it's kind of hard. So you keep your hand on this lever, on this handle here, come in, go down, cross with it. When you come all the way up with this unit, the blade disengages, just so you know. A lot of these units keep spinning the whole time, like the previous unit I did a review on. That's pretty much it. Now, the one feature that this does have, this unit, you can use it as, it's designed primarily as an edger, and I don't think I would use it as anything else, but there is a way to actually use it as a trimmer. So what you can do is you can take this, you can flatten this down, and now you have a trimmer that you can go in and trim on. Now when you do that, there's a little divider here on the center wheels. You need to take the divider out and move the two wheels close together, and then you can use it as a trimmer. But I don't think I'll ever do that. I think I'll just use it. You can change the angle on it. If you want to angle your curve or bevel your cut, you can do that as well. But it's real simple to operate. It's just a one switch on. Turn your choke on, give it a pull, it'll start up. As soon as you push this lever down, the blade will actually start to engage. When you pull it up, the blade stops. The biggest thing for me that I'm looking for, not in overall quality, this beast is going to last for 30, 40 years, but single pass edging. Like I said, I'm going to take you over here in a minute. The world's worst Bermuda lawn, the guy that edges that broke his foot or something, and he hadn't been over there for about 6 weeks. And there were runners coming off of there that were probably 12, 18 inches long. And so I took this thing as the ultimate challenge to do that, and I'll show you that footage. And I didn't think it was going to do it in a single pass, but let me tell you what. It tore it up in a single pass, and it looked phenomenal. So I'll take you over to do that. I did barbs with it. I've done mine with it a couple times. And again, I'm really impressed with it. This is not this is not one of those value things. This is the higher end of edgers again. You can get an electric stick edger, which I have, which is 80 bucks. You can get an electric edger. You can get a gas edger for in the 200 to 300 stick edger. You can use a weed eater, but this is where the walk behind power edgers, and there's two basic versions of a walk behind. There's the cheap China ones, which are in the 250 to 280 mark, and then you go up to here on the power edgers, the USA made ones, which will run you probably high fives with a Briggs & Stratton, with a Honda, probably high sevens, somewhere around like that. Again, I'll put links to all this in the description below. So anyways, I'll just show you me using it. 2 thumbs up for this unit. Like I said, I'm going to give away one next month. I think that'd be pretty cool. So hold on. choke. Fuel is on. RPMs. Medium on RPMs. Switch to on. You think I was kidding, huh? Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Look at that. Look at that. That is going to be a nightmare. Okay, so one thing I'm real careful about when I do something like this is I want to take it to the worst possible conditions I can find. This was bad. But I want to do one single pass with no pullback, no double cuts, just one single pass, blow it off and not touch a single runner, not touch anything, and then go back and look at it to say, in the worst possible condition, what did my edge look like? And I was actually kind of shocked. It was pretty good. I only have one or two little spots. Okay, so again, this doesn't have a curb jumper, but one pass, just riding the wheels along here, and it did a pretty darn good job considering this hadn't been done in a long time. This was the only edge where I have a couple strays, and it's probably because the grass is going up and down and my wheels are following the grass. That's the only reason this edge wasn't perfect. But these edges in here were absolutely perfect. Okay, so when it comes to edging, it's pretty easy. You got a weed eater. Weed eater is good for cool season lawns and for fescues, but when you get into something like a Bermuda that's full of runners and is really, really thick, and you got to cut down deep into the soil to really make that edge, some kind of bladed edger is going to work out so much better than a weed whacker. It always does. Again, you can get something like this. This is the plug-in electric one. That'll probably run about, they run about 80 or 90 bucks. You can get them really cheap, and I used one for a while. That's actually Barb's. I don't let her use it that often. If I hear her out there running that thing, I'll stop her and go get this and do the gas one. The next step up from the electric plug-in is going to be a gas stick edger. It's a 2-cycle, and it's pretty whiny, but they run, a good stick gas edger is going to run you probably about 230 to 280, somewhere in there. Next step up is going to be one of these rolling edgers. Now this is the China-made version I was talking to you about. That China-made version, it's a good unit because you don't use it that much. You're going to pull it out, what, once a week, once every 2 weeks, and run it for maybe half an hour. But if you really want to step up in quality, then I think this is the kind of unit, this McLane unit, that this is a once in a lifetime kind of purchase. That if you really want a good, real heavy, solid American made unit that's going to last you for 30 years, again, I'm going to put links to, on the web page, I'll put links to the Briggs & Stratton version, which runs 5 something, and then the one with the Honda, which runs 7 something. I'll put links to both up there. But again, really good quality unit. I'm really impressed with it. You just sort of have to figure out where you are in that scale. You know, not everybody's going to spend $700 on an edger. You can get by with a $90 edger. But again, I'll put links to all those, the edgers that I've used and that I've actually tested, the ones that I think value-wise for the money are a good value. And it starts, like I said, probably about 80 bucks for an electric. Now let's talk real quick before we end this. I did want to talk about the battery powered ones. If you have a lot of edging to do, the majority of battery ones that I've tried just don't carry me through my whole lawn. If you have a small lawn, yeah, you can get by with a battery powered one, but the majority of those that I've seen and that I've tried, if you have to do any long-term edging, it requires a lot of horsepower, and they're like 40 volts, and that just doesn't get it. They just don't perform as well. I'd rather you go with a hardwire plug-in one almost. But anyways, that's about it, guys. Don't forget, subscribe on a YouTube channel, and go over to the website and sign up for the email alerts, because I'll be giving away one of these. Probably, I think we're going to do it maybe at the end of October. But if you go to the page, you'll read I'll put a note about the giveaway and all the details on there. I got a lot of videos coming up, guys, so got to get busy. But talk to you later. Doc.